Uh,
Basically, your OS is always greater than PFS because PFS is you are saying, and then don't think about right now the number of patients. Let's talk about a single patient. Okay, for it's always the case, right? Because the person disease progress, but the person is still alive, right? Its progress PFS got ended after 60 months, but he is alive for 300 months. So
okay.
basically, he's living a longer life, but his progression is increased, so he will go to another drug.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, how we use in the forecasting? Generally, this is used in oncology, where we talk about the line of treatment concept.
Mhm.
So whenever, let's say, a person start on second line, okay,
Mhm.
so its PFS is 12 months. So he will be on second line for 12 months. Then the disease progress. Then he will move to another drug, which will be your third line of therapy.
Mhm.
Okay, and he's there in third line of therapy for 12 months, and then he died. So overall OS will be your 24 months and PFS is 12 months. Okay, for second line of therapy. So
Mhm.
basically we are saying that this is for one patient characteristic. So it's a
Mhm.
direct movement from second line to third line. But when we talk about bunch of patients together, let's say
Mhm.
100 patients started in second line of therapy. Okay, and on an average their PFS is 12 months. So some patient might go to third line earlier compared to other patient will go later than 12 months. Okay, because there we talk about average PFS. When I talk about 100 people, everybody will not follow the same logic, right? Not
Yeah.
everybody will have the progression free survival for 12 months. Some
Mhm.
can be 3 months, some can be 24 months as well. Now, and some will die. Okay,
Mhm.
so what will happen here when I'm moving my patient from when I'm tracking the patients, group of patients, 100 patients, that they have how many are going to stay in second line, how many are going to third line, and how many are going out of the system altogether.
Mhm.
So there I will use a PFS first to remove them from second line.
Mhm.
Okay. So based on this curve, what we have here. So if you see here, if 1,000 patients start after few months, 100 will drop off.
Okay.
Okay. Now those 100 who will drop off, they will move to. They will basically not taking the drug in second line. They are moved out of the system
Mhm.
of second line. Now they are going to third line because their disease progress. They have to take another drug. Now, if you see here, overall survival, this is also declining, right?
Mhm.
But if I look at this particular point, so here the OS is roughly here, let's say 990,
Mhm.
right, for this month. So I'm saying that 10 people died out of
Okay.
100 people who move. So basically, you're out of 100 people who dropped off second line, 10 people died. So 90% will be eligible to take the drug in third line.
Mhm.
Because that's how we use that. We subtract, basically, we first understand the total movement out of 12, then we subtract the patients who dropped off because of mortality. So the
Mhm.
remaining patient move to 3L, and out of that, then we apply a treatment rate because not everybody gonna take a treatment in the third line because their
Treatment.
body is maybe not good enough and they've lost the will of taking the treatment. All those factors are there.
Okay. So
Okay.
in this graph, the OS area, that broad section in the gray part, that signifies the number of patients, or the
Who are in the therapy at that
are
particular point of time or alive. So
alive.
this line, so don't see at the dark area right now, just see at the
Mhm.
outer line. So we
Outer
are
line.
saying that if these are the every month patient who are dropping off from the life itself, and these are the patients who are dropping off from the drug because their disease has progressed. Basically the drug is not effective for them anymore, that drug. So we are basic, and when we are saying that these are the patients who dropped off, some of the patient died as well in that. So PFS includes both number. So we are
Okay.
basically removing the dead people out of that.
Sure. And for the data of OS and PFS, so when the drug is in the clinical trial phase, the trial data might be used, and when it is in the market, so the actual real-time data from the insurance payer IQVIA, that will be used. If am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
basically, generally, when your product is launched, you do not get this data that much, right? Because if you're seeing this data, it takes 3-4 years to get this data properly, at least minimum, because
Mm-hmm.
that's how you're tracking it, right? Patient, not everybody die in 12 months, even if it's an oncology. People stay
Yes.
there for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
tracking that patient from the day of launch, it will take you to say that, okay, this was the final number, an actual curve, but it will take 5 years, 6 years to get that. So most of the time, you start off with the clinical trial data or any proxy data of any other similar indication, any other drug in that indication, and then you
Mm-hmm.
use that. Okay. One
Okay.
thing that we take a precaution is when you use a clinical trial data, we never use that data as is, because that is very monitored data. So we apply a cut of 10 to 15%. If clinical trials say that PFS was 20 months. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot use it 20 months because they are constantly following up. They are reminding the patients of the these drugs. They are constantly checking them and all. But in real life, that does not happen, right? It's all on patients. They do get
Yes.
reminders, but not that very monitored one. So we are saying that in real life, it will be 18 months or 17 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a
Yeah.
we do. Otherwise, we will overestimate because
ORS.
clinical trials are very monitored things.
Mm-hmm.
Like a ideal situation, but real situation does not go hand in hand. Plus, patients in clinical trial are limited. They try to mock the universe, but it's not the universe in reality.
Okay.
Okay, patient's body, everything behave differently.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how we do that.
Okay.
Does that answer your questions?
Yes, yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Anyone? From any topic, not necessarily this PA deck. I can answer from anything that we have discussed so far based on those topics. Tuli, Mehak, Amol, Ganesh.
No, Ashish.
No. So then we are good for the next week. Uh, Excel. Thumbs up. Comment.
Hi, Ashish.
Hi, Tuli.
I have a doubt
Yeah.
regarding the onco model. Uh, like if someone asks us about the drug, like our drug will be low for the stage three, whether the model will be up to the stage three or it will be goes up to the stage four.
It depends, Tuli. It can go up to 5L, 6L as well. But generally, the more you go to later lines, the lesser patients you have. Okay, because if you start with 1,000 patients, think of it this way: 10% patient dropped off because of mortality, so you'd have with 900 patients there. Okay, and out of 900, only 50-60% take the treatment in second line. So roughly you're left with 450 patients. When you go to the third line, apply the same logic. So you are saying that 10% again drop of 400, 40, 50 people out of 400, 50% take 250. So you're saying that your population reduced drastically by 3L itself. Okay. So if you go further down, your patients become 10, 20, 30. So generally you do not track them as such. We generally call them 3L plus, 4L plus, depending on where we see it's a significant opportunity till that line. After that, we call that okay. We'll just apply maybe a 1%, 10% uh, bump up factor, but we don't model them because there is no particular distinction after a particular line. They just give the drug as well, whatever is work for those patients who live.
Yeah, it is about the line or also about the stage, sir.
Sorry. So every stage can have every line. So depends
Yeah.
on how you are. So generally, what happen? In general, when you do the onco modeling, you will have two types of model: either a early stage model or a metastatic stage model, because in early stage model, if it's a solid tumor, there are chances of getting cured as well. So there, the model you will also look into surgeries and all too. Surgeries, neoadjuvant, adjuvant, and all. Whereas in metastatic cancer, which is stage 3C, stage 4, there the curability is not there because the cancer is already spread. So it's more about treatment now and increasing the lifeline, quality of life. That's all happen. So there it's more about drugs. Surgery doesn't happen much there. And so you generally model totally different, because both of their dynamics are different. And
Yeah.
in each you can have line of therapies, because line of therapy is nothing but you're tracking the patients on which drug they are right now. That's it. And how
Yes,
many
yes,
have happened before.
yes, yes. Like if someone asks us like your drug going to be launched in the stage 3 line 1, so in that case we will just make the model up to line 1 or 2, or after that we will apply bumper factor of
No, if your
10%.
product is launched in line 1, that means you don't have to model line 2, because you're not taking giving your drug in line 2.
Because there is a concept of relapse and other things, na? So
But generally, when person approve, FDA approve, they approve the drug based on the line of therapy only. Some drug, so it's a drug properties as well. Some drug who are given in first line might not be given in second line or third line or fourth line. And think of it this way: generally, if the drug does not work in first line for a patient and it got relapse on that drug, so a physician do not advise to take the same drug again in oncology. That's a fundamental rule. There are very few instances where you can find them taking the same drug after relapse retreatment, because there is not other good therapy in the market for subsequent lines. Secondly, when your client will say that their drug is approved in first line, that means it is approved in first line. And if the person get relapse or refractory, then they will take any other drug but not your drug. They have to explicitly tell you that it is approved in 1L, 2L, and 3N to model those lines. FDA has its own approval accordingly, and the trials also happen accordingly.
yes, sir.
Okay, but if
Yeah.
it's a 1L, they said 3 stage 3 1L, that means you're modeling that. If they say stage 3 1L 2L, then you are modeling that. And if say they says anything above 2L, then you will model stage 3 1L 2L, because 1L you have to understand how many patients progress. You don't have to apply your shares there. Then you will model 2L 3L and then maybe 3L plus or 4L plus max there, because your opportunity decreased there. By then they are not even contributing you a couple of $100,000, so they don't even care about that. You don't even have to do a bump up actually.
Okay, Ashish, thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, any other questions, anyone?
Ashish, ideally, the first line is the major contributing as the patient number is more in the
In terms
first
of
line.
revenue, yes.
Yeah,
In terms
but
of revenue, it's always decreasing in
can we
therapy.
say that if the second line drug, as the first line is not working or not effective for that patient, and then the second line is prescribed, can we say that technically, not commercially, the second line drug is more effective or strong or maybe a good candidate or good product? That's why it is given, or it is because of the resistance to the first line drug treatment generated, not a commercial point of view but a technical effectiveness point of
uh Generally, that's a tricky question, and it's a good viewpoint as well. But if you think of it this way, Vidya, your by first line, it doesn't mean first line is not a definition as such. First line means what was the first drug they would give you,
view.
that person, the one to make the disease better. Okay, and if it does not work, then only they will go to the second line. Okay,
Mm,
now if your drug is effective than the
mm,
first line drug, then your drug should be approved in first line,
okay.
right? Your drug is getting approved in second line because there is certain criteria that person have to, let's say, take a platinum based chemotherapy before they take your drug. Okay, then only it will become effective. So technically, your drug is not better than first line drug. It's a requirement to be in second line to take first other drugs. Okay,
Okay.
but you are not comparing your drug with the first line, because first line means that person, these are the only options that are available. As soon as a person is diagnosed with that condition, they have to take these drugs. If your drug is comparable to those lines, then it will be approved in first line.
Okay. And also there must be a risk benefit ratio, risk ratio
Yes.
higher in the second line, right? And third line. Yeah.
Yes, because by then your body, that person body
Uh,
is very fragile by
Okay.
taking chemos and all. And second of all, when you're saying about that thing, effectiveness,
Mm,
even let's say your drug get approved in third line and second line, and your drug is better, let's say.
mm.
So FDA will approve your drug in one line as well over time after reviewing the results.
So aim is always to move from the third to second to first.
Exactly. That's always the aim. In certain condition, you will get directly one line approval because your drug found have very good results in clinical trials.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And secondly, you will get a fast track approval if there is no drug, even though your drug is not that better, but
Mhm.
there is not many drugs in the market, so you'll get a first line approval. And to add to this, what Vidya was also saying, sometimes whenever you get a first line approval, most of the times drugs get a second line and third line approval too, for the patients who have not taken your drug in first line.
Okay.
Most of the time, not all the time. It depends on the composition, the trials. If the company have not done any trial for second line, third line, FDA will not approve that. Okay, does that answer both of?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, what else? No questions?
Therapedia part is very clear now, but just a little less confidence in plotting the model in Excel.
That's
Can
why
you,
we are
if
asking.
time permits, can you please show one disease example, slowly formulas and that one in Excel once again?
1 second. So, can you see my Excel?
Yes.
Okay. This is a tool that I have created for the client I showed you yesterday as well. If you see, let's say that I'll start with the prevalence. I apply few filters, which is your biomarker, diagnosis rate, anything. Then I have a treatment pool. Okay. Treatment rate. And then I will say that out of these patients, they will be segregated into segment 1, 2, and 3. And within each segment, they will segregate further, IV and oral, let's say. And then within each, I am applying a market share and then compliance, patient ones, and everything till net revenue. Okay. Now, how I model this, I go to this forecast tab. What I did, I create this model. I said that you can see the date. Uh,
Mhm.
it's January 24, and you can see how I'm seeing that going to the number formats, date horizon, and you can see not in the in it depends on which. My mine is Mac, but if you go to your system Windows as well, then the date you might find it here as well, or in custom you can select this format DDMMYY or DDMMMYY. I have MMYY selected here, so if I remove this, you can see this is MMMYY,
Oh,
right? Then I have entered these names: prevalence, diagnosis rate, treatment rate. I have made it very dynamic, so you can see this is linked to the
mhm.
configure tab D21. So in D21, I'm giving the name because this is something I created for the clients to make it dynamic, but you can directly enter the name here. You can write diagnose, prevalence, treatment rate. Okay.
Okay.
Then treated patient. It's nothing but a simple multiplication. See, H9 multiplied by H10 multiplied by H11.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, then you get this 50,820. Then trying to understand how they are split it among three segmentation. So in my case, I have a segmentation at Medicare, Medicaid, and commercial level. So there's some, it's an user input. You can see it's a direct input here, 11, 22, 67%. And there's some is 100% because this is a split of these patients, right? Then all I did, I just simply multiplied. Where Okay, this 50,000 multiplied by this 22% divided by 50,000, 34,000 is 50,000 into 67%. Pure multiplication, no other formulas.
Mhm.
Okay, similarly, your within each, now I'm talking about the subtype. So you can see I have a header of Medicare, Medicaid separately. Within
Mhm.
Medicare, now I'm taking the split of patient. 66%, 44. I have made it 100%, but ideally it should be 60%, 40%. Okay. So this is nothing but if you see a simple multiplication of 60% with 5590.
Mhm.
Similarly, this 5590 into 440. So I know that how many patients are my IV, how many patients are oral for Medicare. Okay.
Yes. Mm.
Similarly for Medicaid, separate inputs for it, same multiplication here, and you can see I'm multiplying Medicaid inputs only with Medicaid number, not any other.
Mhm.
I'm not using a Medicare here.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly for commercial, you can see here
Mm.
commercial multiplied by commercial, and then once I go inside that, I'm talking about my share. So within Medicare of IV, I'm saying my product share is 66%.
Mhm.
So if you see here, this is my product share, and this 66% is multiplied by patients who were on IV in Medicare.
Medicare.
Okay, so this is a
Yeah.
hierarchy basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, similarly for all the three, and then when I do the conversion within Medicare, within IV. So if you see this patient funnel, this is how I'm flowing. Within each
Mhm.
segmentation, I have one subtype, and now within each subtype, I'm applying this calculation.
Yes.
Okay, so here if you see here, so drug patients, this is something that I got from here, Medicare IV patients. Okay, these equate. This is just for
Yeah.
complexity. And then what I did, I just apply, take an input of 11% in compliance, multiplied here.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, then total patients is nothing but 12 multiply because okay, this number you can ignore that, but you can see units are multiplied by 90, total patients, compliant patients basically.
Mhm.
Then gross price, it's a simple multiplication. So see, everything is a multiplication. So yesterday what example I gave you here, uh, this one patient base, it's all multiplication.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, you're just doing segmentation.
Mhm.
This one, it's also a multiplication, but here you will have to apply a PFS. So you have to apply a offset formula here,
Okay.
because if your patient is here 1 month, so and if it's a 12-month PFS, so basically it will be on the therapy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 months, and then after 12 months, it will be here on second line. So this is the offset that you need to apply. Okay. That's the only thing. Once you have the patient on your second line, then again it will become your simple multiplicative formula.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And trend is all multiplicative. You just need to apply that in the TRXs, this linear and logarithmic equation, which is nothing but your trend function. Which you can see that in the video as well that
Mhm.
we have created last week, if you remember.
Last. Mhm.
Okay. Then it will become multiplicative. But that's why I'm saying that it's not a very full-fledged exercise, but it will give you a confidence of at least understanding how to apply your skills and go through the internet, understand about the therapy area you are doing that, and explain me why you have created that thing.
So, to get the first level of percentages data, for example, diagnosis, prevalence, we can get it from secondary or something. But during the forecasting, for at each of this level, for example, Medicare split or Medicaid, so what assumptions we use to like
It
how
depends. Generally, you will find in secondary as well with there sometimes. So it depends on what level of with where you are. So if I talk about this funnel, from this funnel, if I'm at the top of this layer,
Mhm.
okay, then generally it's your uh, what I say. It generally you can find all these through your secondary research.
Secondary research, right?
This market research share is either coming from the demand study or the claims analysis if your product is in the market already.
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
analog analysis. Okay, these general assumptions come from your company itself, because
Mhm.
you know how, because this is based on FDA, right? How many units they have to take, what's the price they're gonna give. So this is not your secondary thing, it's a company policy.
Okay.
So this thing your company provides. And then compliance and all, sometimes you have to use benchmark. There is not much data available for these things anywhere.
Oh,
Okay, so that is something that team came with their experience. We try to calculate it from claims data, APLD data, and all those things. These things. We know that the person has to take 4 pills per month, but in the claims data, we can see that person is taking 3 pills per month. So basically, 75% are there compliant.
mm, mm.
But those things you will not get directly as such.
And month by month, for example, I am forecasting the compliance. So I need to assume like initially 3 to 4 months he will be compliant 75 70%. Then again, assumption based, I need to draw the curves. No. Okay.
Not necessary for all the curves you will get. For all the assumption you'll get curve, and generally we don't get. So we sometimes, and whenever you get these number as well, with their compliance and all, these are overall since the product launch and all, how much the
Mhm.
patient is compliant on an average number. So that's the number you use in the
So
forecast horizon.
it will follow for the forecast period. It's completely
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes, yes. Because think of it this way. First of all, these assumptions are hard to get. Okay.
Mhm.
Second of all, even if you get the assumption, you need a lot of data.
Yes.
Okay. And when I'm saying lot of data, you need basically to calculate a compliance rate. Generally, you have to see the patient behavior for 1 year, 2 year. Okay. And
Mm.
after that, you will get 1 point in data.
Yes.
Okay, so you basically that's an average data across the horizon. So you use that average number. See, forecast will not give you an exact number every month. What happened in the actuals, the assumption. You have to
Mm.
then calibrate it. That
Okay.
calibration will depends on how sensitive or how good your data point is. If your data point is good, you will try not to change that much. But if
Mm.
your other data point is less good, you know that there is some fluctuation, you then try to calibrate that with to match with actuals.
Good.
Okay, but that exercise is more of operations exercise.
Mhm.
But as a forecaster, if I have to create first model, this is how I will do. I'll try to go by the books, take the numbers, and then I will go by the real world after that,
Mm. Mm.
after discussions with clients.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? Anyone? Nope. Then we are all good. Great. Can you guys then share your workbook by next Saturday? Mayank will take your Saturday sessions on VBA, but then we will review it and then we'll discuss this with you on Sunday mostly.
Sure.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Okay, Ashish.
Great. If there is nothing else, then we can get the day off or give the day back and then you can work on your exercise. Feel free to drop a mail to me or Mayank or Rajesh during the week if you stuck anywhere. Do not wait till end of the next week because otherwise then it will become more longer. Okay.
Mhm. Sure.
Okay. Great.
Ashish, will you drop your email address once in the chat?
Sure. Or maybe you can drop it to Rajesh as well. Then he will forward to us. Or maybe, yeah. 1 second. In this chat, right? Yeah. I did just now. Okay. You all got it, right?
Okay, Ashish. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you can directly drop me, and what I'll do, I'll maybe schedule 30 minutes session for Wednesday. It won't be a session. It will be just an open hour. In case anyone have any question, you can guys reach out to me and Mayank on during that session as well. Okay.
Sure. Thanks, Ashish.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashish.
Thank you, Ashish.